This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview.
Joining us today is Ryan Mee, the CEO of Fulcrum Metals, following news that the company have appointed Prospectair Geo Surveys Incorporated to conduct airborne geophysical exploration surveys at the Big Bear, Tocheri and Tocheri Lake properties in Canada. And I hope I said those names right. But welcome back onto Stockbox, Ryan. It's the first bit of exploration work since IPO, planned to start in May. So are you pleased to get going?
Hi, Mark. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, we're really excited. Obviously, this news marks the initiation of our exploration season. And, we're really excited to get started.
Well, I would encourage people to look at the RNS on the company's website because there are pictures on there. And I know generally on some of the sites you don't get to see the photographs. But looking at the pictures there, you plan to cover a big area. And you've quoted in the RNS saying that this is important for Big Bear, as it will give a complete coverage over the property where previous partial surveying has been successful in identifying several high-priority geophysical anomalies. So could you give some rationale as to why you want to cover such a large area, and also how Prospectair's proprietary TDEM system that's mentioned in the RNS is your method of choice?
Yeah, so what Fulcrum are doing is applying a property-wide approach to exploration at Big Bear. Now, most of the property is already covered by this same survey, so it makes absolute sense for us to go out there and fly the remainder of the property. And, the previous survey was really successful in highlighting in excess of 200 anomalies and nearly 40 high-priority anomalies. So what we've undertaken this survey so that we can actually fill in the gaps that we're not sure, that we don't know about just yet. And that's going to help us focus our exploration efforts once we take the whole property into consideration. With regards to Prospectair, they're an industry leader in geo surveys. They was the provider of the previous survey, which we're exceptionally happy with. So again, it made sense to keep the same provider for these surveys. And that's going to allow us to knit all of this information together rather than having data sets from two companies and having that little bit of compatibility issues.
Okay. Well, it is a big area. The total planned survey distance is 915 line kilometres, covering 4 blocks at Big Bear and a single block at the Tocheri Lake. Surveying, as I said, expected to start in May, with final data modelling and interpretation expected around the end of Q2. So it's nice to get a bit of a timeline there. Can I ask you what the main objective is of the survey? And then also, how does Fulcrum plan to use that data collected to guide exploration and potential exploration programs in the future and increase your understanding of the project?
Yeah, sure. So with Big Bear, we have a lot of historical information. On these areas which we're going to survey, we don't have that high quality airborne surveys. Now, as you said, these are big areas. So that's going to help us do is correlate the anomalies which we hopefully receive back with this historic information and prioritize the areas we want to send our guys out on the ground to go and take samples, mapping, and generate drill targets. For Tocheri Lake, this is an area which is almost totally unexplored. It's not even mapped by the Ontario Geological Society. But where it is in a really exciting area in Ontario. The property adjoins onto the Palladium 1 Tycho property. And what we know is that they've used similar surveys to help generate exploration targets and ultimately make nickel sulfide discoveries. So this survey will help us pick out hidden mafic units, which is what this whole area is all about. And then we can follow that up on the ground to go and prospect them and advance this project. So it's actually quite exciting.
Okay, excellent. Well, thank you very much. So to get out on the ground in May, results expected back Q2, with the main idea to identify anomalies, particularly on Tocheri, to actually get an understanding of where the anomalies could be. That will then help you to get your guys on the ground, and then that would lead into further exploration on the ground, and then potentially a drilling program.
Yeah, absolutely. We won't be drilling Tocheri this year at all. It is early stage. We'd been out to the property last year and we found prospective volcanic rocks which had not been identified before. So this survey is the next stage in the development there. And then we'll get out there and prospect the rocks, maybe some soil sampling later on this year. Okay. Big Bear, it's all about prioritising targets, and that's the main game.
Okay, excellent. Well, thank you very much then for your time today, Ryan Mee, the CEO of Fulcrum Metals. Good to see that the exploration is getting underway swiftly after IPO. I look forward to following developments.
Thanks, Mark.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.